Everybody,
What was that, man? That was so weird.
that's what you got to do here.
That's because he drank Sunkiss before this.
Yeah, half a Sunkiss.
Half a Sunkiss. That's what half a Sunkiss does to us. So it's episode 5.
That's right.
We're episode 5 of Beyond the Register. We're Secure Pay Service. We are a credit card processing company out of
Miami, Florida.
And we also process the Keys and Broward and Florida and pretty much around the United States of America. I'm Jorge Mesa, and this is
Freddie Castro. Nice to see you guys here.
So we do webinars. That's our thing. We do like webinar series, and today we have a really special one.
Love them webinars. I'll love them.
The best tips for e-commerce is today's show.
Oh wow, that's gonna be a cool show then.
And we have a treat for you. So let's get the slide going.
Let's get this going
and start the show.
Brother.
So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna explain to you. If you already have e-commerce, you already know. If you don't have e-commerce, say you're a traditional business,
okay,
we're going to teach you how to get started into e-commerce. And when I say e-commerce, you'll learn a little bit about what I mean. It doesn't just mean clothing and shoes and watches. You're going to see the next slide is going to be what I really just want to focus on and explain what e-commerce really is. So e-commerce is extra revenue for your business.
Okay.
Or if you're 100% e-commerce, you don't need retail space, which is awesome.
No, you don't. You can do it out of your house, in your bedroom.
There's
whatever.
a lot of people that
a lot of people are actually doing that. You know, these kids nowadays, millennials.
You see it on TikTok, and you see it a lot of the clothing brands, and they start from their house.
Yeah.
And they're 100% e-commerce.
Just you mentioned that I have a family member that's doing that now, and they're actually working out of my brother's house, and it's like they're taking off. I mean, it's amazing what they got going on there.
And this is this is the future. The future is the e-commerce space, man. So what I wanted to do today is explain why e-commerce is awesome really fast. So the first thing is you're gonna get revenue for your business.
Okay.
You're probably not gonna need retail space if you're doing it 100%.
Sounds good.
The second thing is it could be retail, so clothing, sneakers, jewelry, but it could also be booking. So when you look at e-commerce, a lot of people get confused and they say e-commerce is only shopping, right?
Right.
But it's not. It's anything that has online processing,
which I call a gateway.
We call it the online gateway.
The online gateways.
And that online gateway is technically e-commerce. So what we're talking about applies to every business that exists, because you can take a payment from booking a massage, booking a nail appointment, and then go to memberships.
A vacation rental.
Vacation rentals is the other one. Then we got memberships, so gyms can use this.
Is that on the next slide? We got that.
Yeah, we'll do that. No, we'll
gonna stay here. Okay.
Yeah, let's go back.
Let's go back to that. I jumped the gun here, George. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's the Sunkissed.
It's the Sunkissed. I'm telling you, man. I left like half of it over there.
So the idea is that e-commerce is not just clothing and shoes.
Right.
It's a lot of things. It's subscriptions. It's memberships. You could sell e-books.
Yeah.
You could sell digital products on here. So that's e-commerce. And then the last two things that it focuses on customer journey.
All right.
And the automation. So the automation is once a buyer buys a product from you, they get an email that says, you just purchased the product. Here's your invoice. We're going to contact you in 24 hours to send you your code, your tracking code.
Tracking code. So, and let me ask you something. From that same invoice, you can also you can pay with a credit card or a check.
Right.
So,
and then from there, we come in with the credit card process.
Correct.
So that's the first thing of the first slide explains why e-commerce is awesome. Now here's the question that we get all the time. That's
lay it on me, George. What's the question?
that it's awesome to hear, but how do you do it?
Right.
So let's get to the next slide. This is how do you do it.
Now we're back
now,
on
Mr. Sunkiss.
Sorry,
Mr.
George.
Sunkiss, we're back.
Okay.
So this slide actually tells you the trick, in my opinion. Leverage the tech giants. When we say tech giants, you got to look at Facebook, Airbnb, Uber Eats, Groupon, Fiverr. All these big companies that exist are multi-million dollar, billion-dollar companies. Why not leverage their traffic? So when you're leveraging the traffic of a Facebook marketplace, what you're doing first is you're using their audience to build your audience. That makes sense.
Totally makes sense.
So if you have a retail operation,
it doesn't cost you anything.
Doesn't cost you. It's usually like a fee.
It's a fee,
and I'll get to that later. It costs you nothing in the beginning,
right?
But as you scale your business, you're gonna want to not do it. Okay. So the first thing is if you have a retail shop, like let's say you sell clothing,
all right,
a boutique would be a good idea.
Okay.
You would start off first on Facebook Marketplace, Amazon, Walmart has fulfillment, Etsy. Etsy's pretty good.
Oh wow! How about those Pinterest guys? Do they do that too?
No, Pinterest is more social media.
Social media.
But there's the idea that you're leveraging that traffic from the shop, like you're building an online presence.
Okay.
With these first.
Okay, good.
So if you have a retail, you go that route. If you have vacation rentals. So, like, let's say you do rentals of whether it's vacation rentals or slingshots or you rent ATVs or cars. Yeah. You can leverage, if you're starting from scratch to do online, leverage the other places like Vrbo, Airbnb. I think the Turo is the car one.
Turo's the car one. Actually, we have a client that's building a site like that. That we're going to be coming around in the mountain, as I say.
And those are the things where you can leverage the traffic of those big companies. And then the food one. So if you have a restaurant or cafe, you can leverage Uber Eats and DoorDash at the beginning. And then
I see where you're getting at with that one.
You get what I'm getting at.
Okay,
and the last one is if you're a lawyer, so service. So if you're a lawyer, consultant, marketing company, anything, service, CPAs, anything with service, you can do Groupon, you could do Upwork, Fiverr. You can get on these these big platforms and build your little clientele base first. Okay, so let's get to the next slide. So now that you leverage the tech giants, your next thing here is to do amazing. So you do amazing work.
Right.
You make the sale, collect the customer data. So if let's say you're on Facebook Marketplace and you're selling your custom T-shirts that you make.
Okay.
What you're going to do is you're going to have their information, their email, their name, their address.
Right.
So that at least you have some customer data.
Okay.
The next thing you want to do if you're doing T-shirts is leave a handwritten note. So put a handwritten note in the box and ship it to them, letting them know, hey, look, I have my own website, and it's called cooltshirts.com. Can you, I would love for you to get 20% off buying from there.
Oh,
than
I
buying
see what you're saying.
From like Amazon or buying from like.
Oh, wow.
So that's how you do it. You kind of want to use
them first, then flip them to your site.
And then this is where we come in.
Oh,
and I'll show you.
Wow, George, that's freaking amazing.
And
look, it's do amazing, and that's exactly what we're saying. Yeah.
So behind the numbers, I'm going to show you later on why that works.
Okay.
All right. So now the other question we get, now that you told us how to do it,
all right,
why should we do it? All right, let's get to the next slide. I'm going to tell you why. Because these big companies look like
look at these guys.
Yeah.
I wonder who's winning there, the tall guy or the little guy?
It's always the tall guy.
The tall guy is probably whipping his booty there.
He spins the ping pong.
Yeah, he looks like a spinner, man.
Yeah, he looks like a spinner. We got a spinner.
Yeah, we got a spinner here.
And these companies...
And look at everybody in the background watching.
No, they already know that it's a photo op. But
I'll probably be in the office, starting to fire some people there.
These companies are really good at securing funding. So they're not really good at the operations part.
All right.
So you're going to be the master of the operations part. So you don't want to put your entire leverage of your company on an Airbnb if you have a vacation rental. You want your own .com. If you have a clothing store, you don't want to stay on Amazon. You want your own .com.
Right.
So it's all about building your own .com and getting the money from the .com.
Let me ask you something, George, that you're bringing this up. Do I have to pay like a fee or something?
Let's get to the next slide. That's a great question.
Am I like ahead of you? What's going on?
So the next slide is it's just some examples. This is subject to change because the fees always change.
Right.
But if you have an Amazon store with more than 40 items a month, which is a business at that point, you're paying $39.99 a month plus their fees.
Oh, wow.
Their fees are pretty high up there, 15 to 16% of the sale. So that's why you see a lot of companies now being priced out of Amazon because Amazon does take a huge chunk of those fees. For Airbnb, it's 14 to 16% for the Airbnb, what's called the plus host.
Oh,
so you have to pay for that in that percentage.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and they're subject to change. For Uber Eats, it's 30% fee for delivery orders, 6% fee for pickup. For Groupon, this is the big one. This one was weird. This was a lot of money.
I had to get a lot of Groupon stuff.
Yeah, so the Groupons, it's 50% of the sales revenue. So that's their model.
So you're telling me I sell something on Groupon and I got to pay 50% what I've made to Groupon?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Because they're masking it as like a marketing company. So like they're like an affiliate marketing company.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is you could start on Groupon, but phase out of them by like as soon as you get like 3-5 like online customers.
Yeah.
And
okay,
then,
I can see
and
the
then
map there.
and the repeat customers bring them onto your .com. So
Right.
this is where we come in. So if you have a .com, we come in as your credit card processing company.
Okay.
So at 2.2% plus 0.20, which is 20 cents
Per
transaction, is way cheaper than any of these fees that you see here.
And not only that, you're not gonna get the support that we're gonna give that these people give.
Oh no,
Yeah,
at
forget
all,
about it.
at all. And to be honest with you, you're building your own destiny.
Okay.
If you're on Amazon, and there's a story that I can tell you that actually happened. This guy was he had laptop bags, and the guy built like a specific laptop bag with a leather something
Strap
with
or something?
leather,
Okay.
and Amazon slightly changed the design, and they stole this idea.
Oh, they do that.
And they destroyed him because they undercut him.
Yeah, it's happened to me personally.
Not
actually.
only that, but they can be on top. They
That's
own the
happened.
algorithm. So his backpack was not the top search anymore. His backpack was like the third search. And
did
guess
that
who
to
had a
me,
better
actually.
price with a similar design?
Right.
They wiped them out.
No, they do that. They do that. I was selling equipment on Amazon when the old machines that are phasing out now, and they jumped on the bandwagon. They opened their own company. They started selling the units there. We couldn't compete with the prices. We had to close the Amazon store.
Yeah, no, the
Yeah,
Amazon
they-
is ruthless.
And they were holding our money for literally, it was up there holding our money for months, and it was kind of a nightmare, to be honest with you.
Every company that I just named earlier with the ping pong tables, they're ruthless. Like
Yeah.
Etsy.com.
They don't care. That's so many customers. They don't care.
They
You know?
don't care. And the Etsy.com started off as very organic, and it had a loyal following of people that would live and die by Etsy.com.
Right.
And they just changed their pricing model recently. So it's like they're
gone kind of like commercial.
it becomes commercial.
Yeah, it becomes
When I
commercial.
see a ping pong table at a company, I already know where that's going.
Yeah.
It's the fees are going to be raised. It's all to appease the shareholders. So what we're trying to tell you guys at home or at the office is that the trick here is to have a .com. So let's say you have a WordPress website.
Okay.
Right?
How does that work? Yeah.
So let's go to the next slide. So let's say you have a WordPress website, and usually with WordPress, it's something called WooCommerce. So
Right.
WooCommerce is like this plugin that you put into your WordPress theme, and with that said, you can now have an e-commerce store. So what I'm going to say to that is we work with that, with the plugin WooCommerce. We give you a code. You put our API code, the key, API
Right.
key, in the WooCommerce, and it's done.
Yeah, it's all integrated in the back end. It's
It's all
super
done.
easy. Yeah.
It's all you got to do is get a key from us, and now you're paying less than the 3.5%.
And it's literally a 2-second integration.
if I can remember off the top of my head, PayPal is like a dollar per swipe per credit card
right.
that pays on your website, and it's at a percent, I believe, at 3.2 or something.
Yeah, they're up there. No, the PayPal's at 3.5%.
3.5.
Yeah.
Stripe is at 3.5. So instead of paying for Stripe at 3.5, we would give you a way better deal.
And the reason, George, they go with these companies, they're in bed with the actual software company that's running your e-commerce. So you're going to get an email, oh, yeah, if you need to do merchant services, go with us. It's a quick approval process. We'll get you approved in a couple of hours, and you're up and running, which is the convenience.
Yeah.
And people are saying, okay, let's do it now. But at the end of the month, they're like, wait a minute. I'm paying this much in fees, and they start freaking out because it's expensive, but it's convenient. It's working. People are paying. People are buying. Stuff's getting shipped out. People are working in the office, answering phones. So there's a roadmap flow there, but it happens to be it gets expensive. Now you contact us, we do the same thing. We just don't get on, advertising that stuff there. You gotta, see this podcast, refers to people.
Yeah.
Listen, these guys can better the rate, and things like that. So.
Yeah, if you're building a long-term business, the secure pay service model is better because you have your .com. You start with the .com with the credit card processing at 2.2%.
Yeah.
It's cheaper. It's inexpensive. And the second thing you do is you start putting in the plugins to do the automation. So as soon as somebody buys from your site, text message the person and an email.
And it's funny that you said that. We're doing these meal prep companies now, and they all use Stripe.
Yeah.
And every time I see one of these guys and they show me that Stripe statement, I just start laughing. I'm like, you guys are nuts. That's the easiest stuff for us. We're like, we put up this whole thing. It's called a statement analyzer. You can see it from our website under the More tab, and you can put in your statement there. We come in, we show you what you're paying, what you're going to be paying with us. I mean, literally the fees are like slashed in half. That's if they're going to be paying the traditional price. If now we can do the cash discount, where you're no longer paying the fees, you're passing that on to their cardholder, and it's not a big deal. They need their food, so they're going to pay it. It's a necessity. So, yeah. So that's basically what I wanted to say. Thank you, George. And the sun. I think I'm going to go get a sun kiss right now.
Yeah,
where's my sun kiss at? It's over there somewhere.
and to be honest with you, like we like to give advice that's gonna help a business grow tremendously.
Yeah.
And I think that if we sat here and we said we want you to put your vacation property on Airbnb and make an Airbnb plan and revolve your business around an Airbnb, that'd be a big mistake on our part, because at that point you're at the mercy of a tech giant.
Yeah.
And it's only a matter of time until they raise the fees. Like
That's
whatever,
right.
like if you look at it, it's a big trend.
And if they close you, you're pretty much done.
Yeah,
you got to be careful.
If they ban you, something happens, you're done, and you don't want that to happen. But the biggest thing I would say though is that you can't be reliant on these things. Like Etsy.com is another one that I feel is coming. The Etsy.com, it's one where you start selling jewelry, and then you get really big, and you have 10,000 customers on Etsy.com.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden they shut your store down and you can't do nothing about it.
And that's another thing we do, George. We do we do the omni-channel, the marketing. So we don't just going to come in again and just sign you up with this API key and give you the best rate in town and give you the service. We're going to give you tips on how to market that to get you to the .com, to get people to push traffic to your site. It's either targeting, audience targeting, the email marketing, the SMS text message marketing, going after these customers that are buying from you anyways, and you're getting this data from them because they're signing up for this. Not which is going to be soliciting people here. They're signing up for this stuff under a reward or a loyalty program, and we're helping you the owners to actually generate those sales and push them to the .coms on this e-commerce thing that we're talking about today. So we help you with those things. We don't just sign you up and walk away. We're going to be there from day one to the day there's no date.
Yeah, and it works. And it works with not just WooCommerce and WordPress. It works with Shopify, Salesforce, GoDaddy has an online store.
They do that too. Yeah.
BigCommerce. So we work with Shopify and all that. We have the code that we give you, a little key. You copy and paste it in there.
Yeah.
You hit submit, and from there on, you start getting charged instead of 3.5%, 2.2%.
Yep.
And that all adds up. I mean, we've had done, how many statement analysis have we done just this month? And each statement analysis shows us that there's a lot of money that you're leaving on the table by being lazy and not switching over to us.
I can pull one up here, but it's I don't know if I want to divulge that information. This is a business. It's an ongoing business. We're signing up. They process a lot. They're up there, and we're literally cutting it down like 45%. I mean, 45%. It's crazy. And then the money we're talking about a few zeros here.
And the money that you save them, it goes into anything they want. And that money could be used for marketing. And I keep stressing how much money you're leaving on the table by being lazy. And that's the bottom line here. So before we close out of here, you want to talk about the last two things. So we talked about in the last show that as a company, we're lean, and that has enabled us to do some things that is beneficial to the customer. When we say that, we mean that we give you two options. You can choose the traditional, which is the 2.2% that you are paying, so the customer doesn't have to pay that in their receipt or the invoice. But we also have what's called the dual pricing, the cash discount, where we have the ability to tell your customer that if they paid the credit card, they would pay the fee for the credit card. So we have the technology. So the two options, Freddie, is the 2.2% or the
eliminate your fees. See you later, alligator. Look, I pulled up this thing.
Go ahead. Tell them.
I'm not going to give out the company information. I'm just going to give you an example. This is a live account. Okay, if we can zoom up here, I just want to show you the savings real quick. If we can zoom up here, my buddy old pal over there.
Just go up to the camera.
Or I can pull up to the camera.
Yeah, right there.
Where am I?
Oh, right here, I think.
Okay, here. Okay.
The other way.
Here we go. We can just zoom in. So basically, the middle tab here is what we're saving them. Let me see. Hold on.
I'll translate because you can't hear with the mic.
Here, basically, that's their current fees, our proposed fees, and their monthly and yearly savings. If you can see there, it's a lot. They're getting charged 2.73%. We're coming at 2.46. Actually, that's going to lower. So we do our cost comparison first. We look at the statement the first month that it comes in. We revisit the client. We come in. We lower the cost. You're going to get a better rate. We show you now. Now we have basically what their process, what type of cars are processing.
Let me tell the people what they're seeing because it might be new to them.
Okay.
So when we come in to work with somebody, what we like to do is we like to get their old credit card statement first.
Right.
So we'll put it through our system that you just saw Freddie show you on the camera. And that system tells us automatically what you're paying.
Right.
And then how much difference when we come in, you're going to save.
Right.
And that's what Freddie is just showing you that our software does for us. Now, it's a lot to show you through a dashboard, but it's even more to actually give you the money back.
Right.
And when you start processing, you probably start to see it the first month where you're noticing a big difference.
No, most definitely. Especially with big accounts like this, George. It kind of falls through the crack. Everybody's really busy. When you're selling a lot of money, it's like there's a lot of moving parts, and they don't go to the merchant services. They don't look at their credit card because everything's working. We come in, we're like, listen, we know we can save you money here. What are you doing? These people alone, we're saving them $21,000 a year. You know what that is?
It's a car payment.
I mean, that is more than car payment. That's kids' graduation, college. I mean, cars, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But it's just like, it's crazy because they don't look at it. They see us like, oh, it's a merchant provider. Oh, my God.
I mean,
please, I have no time for you guys. Well, guess what? Start getting some time.
The phrase of the day is the cost of doing business.
The cost of doing business. Come on.
And in thinking that way, you're leaving money on the table because it's stupid. Like,
and this e-commerce thing is the perfect example.
E-commerce is where it's at, to be honest with you.
Perfect example.
You don't have to have a huge retail space, or if you do.
And this is by the way, George, what I just showed the audience, this is an e-commerce account.
We just showed you guys an e-commerce account.
That's an e-commerce account.
They don't have a storefront. They don't have any of that.
It's all online.
And the bottom line, the beauty of it is that we're in the age of the Renaissance age where everything's just online.
Yeah, it is.
And yes, Amazon, we could sit here all day and talk about how great eBay, Amazon, Facebook is, but they're not your company. Like, get it through your head. It's not your company.
No.
You have your .com, your domain, where Happy Face
you pay for that,
.com that you pay $12, $13 a year for.
Yeah.
And then you have like WordPress or Shopify. You already paid for that. Might as well just build your business instead of having a storefront. Build a Shopify. Build a WooCommerce.
And it's so easy nowadays to do that. It's not hard at all.
Laziness.
We can help you with that too.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's pure laziness. If you're a traditional business, like if you're selling tools right now, if you're selling manufacturing,
right,
tools, LED lights for construction companies, and you're like a B2B company, if you're a B2B company, you should still think about e-commerce.
I do it. Who wants to go visit? You can just do it right from your house. You know?
And then you can do what we have as the e-check thing.
That's another. Yeah, that's another thing.
You send your vendors an invoice with the ability to pay with credit card or e-check
or a check, yeah,
or a bank
account information. Yeah,
yeah.
It's actually cheaper that way. We here. I know if we process your e-check, it costs you 1% instead of 2.2. If we do a check, it's 1%. The only thing with that, George, is like any traditional check you deposit. How long does it take for you to get your money? It takes 4 or 5 days for it to get deposited because we have to make sure that the funds are there, that it clears to the ACH housing. So it's going to take a few more days, but you're going to save 1.2% if you do a check.
Yeah.
I personally, in our business, we do a lot of checks. We don't do credit, and we're in the credit card processing game. We do a lot of checks because we're a lean company. We're gonna charge your bank account. If it has to be someone needs to buy something from our Shopify, we also do stuff on Shopify. We have an online store called SecurePayServiceStore.com. We sell equipment. We do credit cards. And at the beginning, I was using Stripe. I said, you know what? It was easy 1, 2, 3 to install it. It's a couple of clicks and you're processing credit cards. A week later, I saw the fees coming in. Because then Shopify, what they do is you sell something, the next day they're taking out their money for their credit card fees. So it's not monthly. It's called a daily discount. So I started noticing that it's kind of tricky with the accountant. I took it. I got my own API. I called them. I submitted the information. Now I'm processing my own transactions on Shopify. So that kind of worked out for us. And we're saving some money. And we can do this for you guys. It's so easy. Just call us today. 305. 305-307-8530 is our number. I forgot. Because I'm always giving out my cell phone number. But call us, find us on the website. I just wanted to say that the Sunkist has gotten to me. All right, George, you can keep going. Keep talking.
Well, that's the beauty of it. It's like you're starting a company. Yeah. You don't know where to turn, and you go to Stripe and PayPal, and that's where they take you. That's take you for a ride. Yeah. Before we close out today, it's pretty simple what we have going on. It's we give you the API code for your e-commerce. So you have Shopify. We give you a key. You put that key in, now you're paying 2.2%. Yeah. The other thing is if you need equipment, so you might have like a front area lobby where there's a receptionist that takes payment. We'll give you the what's called that tablet. We'll give you the tablet
or counter terminal, whatever.
With the terminal, whatever we see would be fit for you, and from there on, you're now taking payment at a lower rate with the brand new. No cost to you equipment.
Not only that, remember, we do two things here. It's called dual pricing. Either we do the 2.2 or you can do the cash discount also on your Shopify sale. So now you're charging the cardholder the rate and you're not paying that. So we can do both. So you know.
And we're the only, there's a lot of our competitors that only do one because they were structured that way. But we're the only, to my knowledge, company that's openly marketing the fact that we let you, we're not selling you on which one. We're letting you pick, do I want to do the 2.2 where I pay the fees, or do I want my customer to pay the credit card fees?
Right.
And this is not something we push. We don't like to push anybody that, either way.
Right.
We like you to pick because there's a lot of businesses that we've gotten phone calls from that say, I love that cash discount, but I'm not making my customers pay.
Right.
Right. So we give you that ability to choose it, and we don't care what you choose because we're doing your process.
No, it's like now you just, it's like you're like hitting all the bells and whistles here today, George. Now I'm thinking there's a lot of companies that kind of like hide that in their payment. So you come in, you buy something, they raise it 3.5% and they sell it to you. Because in the back end, they're like, well, I just charge you 3.5% to cover my credit card payment, and they use that extra money that they're receiving in the bank to make that end of the month's payment, though. There are people doing that. It's not illegal. It's not regulated, but they're doing it, and they're charging you more. With us, full transparency. You know what you're paying. There's a sign at either when you walk into the establishment or maybe the sign is by the actual payment terminal. You know what's going on. So you don't have to, business owners, you don't have to hide that no more. We can do this for you. Your customers aren't going to bitch. You can go on our website. We have a video showing you how it works. It shows you the statistics on the people returning, coming back and maybe not visiting the location anymore. It's all there. Again, super easy. Call us today. George, sorry I took over, George.
Call us today. The number's 305-307-8530. 8530.
Yeah.
So we're about to close.
All right.
We're about to close, but before I close, I will say we work with a lot of old school, traditional businesses, manufacturing, B2B, a lot of what they call boring businesses. We work with them.
We love you, boring people. Come on down.
We love boring businesses because we hand walk people. Yeah. We'll grab you by your hand and we'll walk you through the next generation. We're a next gen consulting.
And that was the meeting that we had yesterday, actually.
Yeah. So we're next generation consultants. We will take you from the 1990s into today. That's where we take you.
Yeah. And the journey's easy. It's not hard.
It's not that hard. And we give you the equipment. So it's not like you have to pay extra. There's no hidden fee on that. You're getting the equipment for free. You're getting the API key for free. You just need to do the application, send it to the bank.
It's going to be on the Go Tribune thing we're going to show, right?
Yeah.
Where you guys can go there, click on the link. You're going to get
put it in the comments to the YouTube.
Okay.
Let's put the URL because the slideshow's not up. But it's the word go.securepayservice.
I think there's a slide there, no? Let me see. Go to the last slide.
Yeah. All the way to the end. Oh, that one.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, you got it.
This guy's the greatest.
Yeah,
I'm going to buy you a Sunkist when I get out of here, by the way.
Yeah, he's getting a Sunkist.
Extra bonus for you.
So that's the .com if you want to just go on there and check us out. Or just
Mike's paying for the Sunkist. He gave me $2.
Hey, Mike. Hey, I love Mike.
Hey, thank you for the Millers today. We had a great event today at the Casa Cuba. We met all our new state representatives, which was pretty cool. We got some photos on Instagram. Great event. Pastelitos were great. Again, at Casa Cuba. We had the Miller guys, Grant, Mike, the whole team was there. Lori, our girl here at Community News. Great event again. The guy from the zoo was there.
Oh, the
old friend
guy.
Ron.
Yeah,
Ron
awesome.
McGill was there. Some other people from the community, some leaders of the community with mayors and stuff like that. Was a
phenomenal event.
Phenomenal event.
So
Thank you guys.
Let's close off with that positivity. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks for the next episode. But I hope you guys enjoyed the best tips for e-commerce.
All right, guys. Thank you. Remember to call us. Don't forget. Come over here. All right, there you are.